Hi, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. My name is Emma. Today's video is going to be a beauty favourites slash get ready with me. I wanted to film a favourites video and a lot of my favourites were beauty related, so I thought rather than just film a traditional sit down favourites video, I'd film it as a get ready with me just so you could see the products in use and in action. I thought that would be more useful for you guys. Everything that I mentioned I will leave linked down below, and I will show you the other products on my face that aren't necessarily new favourites, and I'll leave those linked down below as well. Yeah, I filmed this as a little get ready with me because I actually am going out this evening for dinner and drinks with my friend to celebrate both our birthdays. I am just gonna flash you back to me barefaced, and actually with a cup of tea. I do now have a nice glass of wine, but I started this video barefaced and with a cup of tea. So yeah, I hope you do enjoy this video, and let's just get into the favourites. Okay, so I've already moisturised my face off of camera. There's nothing new there. I've just been using my Kiehl's Ultra Facial Cream. That's just my favourite moisturiser. It has been for years now. And just a CeraVe eye cream. But the first favourite I did want to mention is an oldie but a goodie that I have started using a lot recently, and it is Benefit POREfessional. This is just the little miniature size. Yeah, I've never really been good with using primers, but I've started using primer recently just to help like smooth out my skin and really prep my skin ready for makeup. I really like this one because obviously, as the name suggests, it's made for filling in your pores, which I find like sometimes if I'm not using a primer, my pores are really highlighted on my face. So I just do really like using this primer underneath just to help smooth my skin out, and I just really like it. It's quite a basic primer, but I've just been using it again recently a lot just under makeup, especially like when I want my makeup to last. I was using it a lot around my birthday when I was going out for dinners, and I used it actually on my birthday when I went out with my makeup to last all day around London. It's really good for that, and I do feel like it does actually really help just minimize the look of pores on my face and just really help prep my skin ready for foundation. But yeah, I've just really been enjoying the Benefit POREfessional. So nothing new in my makeup collection, but something that I've been digging out and using again, and I definitely see the benefits of using it. No pun intended. Okay, and then the next product I want to talk about is a foundation, and this is the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Foundation. I got this for my birthday. I was really eager to try this because I'd seen so many people rave about this, especially on TikTok actually. I think I've said that before, I actually did go into a Phoenix in Newcastle, which has the Charlotte Tilbury counter, and got shade matched. And I would say if you can do that, if you do have a Charlotte Tilbury counter near to you, I'd really recommend doing that, because number one, actually the woman who did it was really lovely, and also like the shade match that I was matched to, which I used the shade 3 Cool, was not the shade that I've been matched to online. And there is quite a lot of shades of this, which is really good. Comes in this like plastic packaging, and it has a pump. I love a pump with a foundation. I just find it a lot easier to use, so I just kind of pump this onto the back of my hand. And then I do like to go in with a brush first of all. I do go in later with a beauty blender, but I feel like for initial application I do really like it with a brush. I just feel like it really helps spread the product nicely. It's such a beautiful coverage. It is quite dewy, but it's not like really shiny, and I feel like even with my oily skin it still works really nicely. It doesn't like slip off in any way, so it has that like nice dewy, almost like satin finish. It's got a really good coverage. When she shade matched me and put this on my face, she didn't actually even put a concealer on top, and I'll insert a picture of what my face looked like because my face looked flawless, and that was even without concealer. And I just really like the finish of it. I don't like a really thick heavy foundation, but I do want coverage. This for me is definitely more of an evening foundation. In the day I tend to wear more lightweight BB/CC cream kind of products, but this is just really beautiful on the skin, like the name suggests. I also think it's got skincare properties in there, which is meant to help your skin over time, which I think is just a really nice addition to a foundation, just to know that when you're wearing makeup, it's not going to be like making your skin worse. It's going to be helping improve your skin underneath, which I really like. And yeah, I think it's just really nice. This shade 3 Cool, just as you can see, is blended seamlessly into my skin. And yeah, like I said earlier, they do have a lot of different shades, so there is definitely a shade for everybody, I would say. Yeah, I just think it gives a really nice flawless finish to the skin, but I think because it has that slight radiance to it, it doesn't look really like heavy or cakey at all. Obviously with it being Charlotte Tilbury, it is on the more high-end price point. I think it's around 30 something pounds, so I still think it's a good worth of your money, and I feel like a little goes a long way. You don't need like loads of this to get a good coverage on your face. It lasts lasts really nicely. Obviously I do wear the primer underneath, and I do later set it with a setting spray. I really like it. I can't rave about this enough. Obviously I've been talking for quite a while, but I mean, that's blended in really easily. It doesn't take a lot of work to like blend in. You're not like sitting there like working away at it, and also you don't have to work really quickly. It's not like it's going to sit on the skin. It just blends really beautifully, which I really like. So yeah, loving that foundation. I would definitely recommend if you want to try it. Okay, my second favourite that I wanted to mention in this video is the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I'd wanted to try Glossier products for years, and when I was in London I popped into the Glossier store. So this is the Stretch Concealer. So yeah, I wear the shade G11, which is the second lightest. They go like the lightest is G12 and then like the darkest shade is G1. But yeah, I really like it. It is a popped concealer, as you can see. It just looks like that, and I really just like applying this with my fingers. It's really creamy and blends really nicely. I've always kind of steered away from pot concealers just because I find they can be quite thick and quite difficult to use, and I find they dry up quite quickly, whereas this hasn't done that. I really like just applying this initially with my finger and just patting it in with my finger, just working it in. I think this works really well with the warmth of your finger, and I feel like Glossier does like encourage people to use their fingers for their makeup. I will go in later with the beauty blender, but yeah, it just gives a really nice coverage to the skin. It's really creamy. It lasts really nicely on the skin. I do use this all over my face for like a daytime look. For an evening look, I'm just going to use this under my eyes because I want a little bit more coverage and a bit longer lasting concealer on my chin and in more in my T-zone area. But under my eyes, I really like the look of this. It's really nice like brightening shade, and yeah, I just really like it. It's also quite affordable for the pot. I will say like the pot is a little bit tricky to use, especially because I've got nails. I do get like a bit of concealer on my nails sometimes, and I do have to be careful not to like accidentally dip my nail in there. But it's really nice concealer. I really like it, and if you are looking for an easy concealer, I would definitely recommend this. I think this would be really good for people who like quite a minimal makeup but still want a little bit of concealer. I think this would be really beautiful in the summer. I feel like in the summer I wear less makeup, and I feel like this would be really nice as a concealer just because it blends really nicely. Just helps cover up the things that you want to cover up without looking too like cakey or anything. I have been wearing this a lot just with the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter as a base, and then no foundation, and then just this. And I really like that look, and like I said, I think that's something I will wear a lot in like the summer months. But for an evening look, I am just going to go in with the Maybelline Eraser Eye. I'm not going to talk about this too much because this is nothing new, and I'm just going to put this in the areas that I want a little bit more concealer, and then just blending that all out with just a damp beauty blender. I really like going in with a brush and then going within a beauty blender. I feel like with a beauty blender, going in first with a beauty blender can take away a little bit of the makeup, just because the sponge can soak up a little bit of the product. But I do like going over with a beauty blender just to make sure there's like no brush marks. Okay, so moving on to cream bronzer. I've been loving cream products for the past year and a half. I'd always kind of stayed away from using cream products just because obviously I do have oilier skin. However, recently I've been loving using cream products, and I have been recently using the Refy cream bronzer. I have the shade Sand, which I believe is the lightest shade. It just looks like that. I like that it comes with the mirror. I really like the packaging. If you've watched some of my previous videos, you might know that I was using the Chanel cream bronzer, which I still do love, and I still use both. But I will say I much prefer the packaging of this. It's a lot less bulky. It does have the mirror in it, and there's like 3 shades of this, I think, whereas the Chanel one has 2 shades now, I think. But yeah, I just love using a cream bronzer. I just feel like cream bronzers work seamlessly into the skin. I feel like for me, especially being quite pale, I just love using a cream bronzer just because I feel like it helps like the bronzer mesh more into my skin and into my complexion. Sometimes with a powder bronzer, it can look a bit too heavy, whereas this looks a little bit more seamless with my makeup, if that makes sense. I have kind of changed the way I've been applying this. I've changed the brush. This is still a Real Techniques brush, but this is the Expert Face brush, and this is a bit more dense. I was previously using the buffing brush, which is a bit more fluffy, whereas this one is a bit more tapered and shaped, and I feel like this one works better with just applying the product where I want it. I feel like with this more like rounder brush, it was a bit more difficult to apply, so I'm definitely preferring using this brush. But I feel like because it's got that shape, it just fits really nicely in the contours of my face. So just kind of dab it in to the product cheek, and can you see like just the shape of the brush just really helps control the application of the bronzer. And I just feel like since I've been using this brush with it, I definitely prefer it. I don't go really heavy with this. It is quite a deep tan colour, so if you are pale like me, you definitely want to go a little bit more sparingly. It just blends really nicely into the skin. It's a really nice tone, and like I said, it is definitely buildable. I just feel like a cream bronzer just makes it look a little bit more seamless. I really like that look. And if you have dry skin, like just doing this on its own would look beautiful. I do have to go in later and set it with a powder bronzer just so it won't move, but if you do have a dry skin and can get away with not having to set cream products, then this is really beautiful. Really love that. I just think it's a really nice tone. It's a really nice warm tone. I will say this is a more like bronzy shade. It's not a very contour shade. It is definitely more of a like a bronzy shade, but I'm not really a contour person. If you want something a bit more cool toned, I wouldn't recommend this. I'm not sure about the other shades if they're a bit more cool toned, but they're obviously a bit more darker, so they might not work, especially if you're like my skin colour. Yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. I would say this is definitely more for cream bronzing than like cream contour. I've seen people just wear like this and a little bit of concealer, and that looks really beautiful on the skin, and I would really like to try that more in the summer months. But yeah, it still works really nicely on top of foundation as well. I'm hoping you can see that. I'm actually filming this at night, and I am using a ring light because obviously the sun is like setting, because it's like 5:20 at the moment. Hopefully that is picking it up and the ring light's not washing it out too much. But yeah, really love that. And yeah, as you can see, it's just blended really seamlessly into the skin and just added a little bit of warmth. So yeah, really like this. It's also really affordable, and yeah, it's also really nice to support like an influencer brand, because this is Jess Hunt's brand. Really like this. I do also have the blusher. I'm not going to be using that in this video, but I do really like that. I've got the shade Rose, and that's really nice as well. So yeah, really recommend this cream bronzer if you're on the market for a cream bronzer. And then my next favourite is a cream blush, and this is the Rare Beauty blush in the shade Joy. I've wanted to try Rare Beauty, well, since it launched really, even before since it launched, and they actually launched in the UK finally in February in Space NK. Obviously, if you want to check them out, you can go to a Space NK store, which I think is really good because it means that you can have a look at the products in person. So I have it's the liquid blush in Joy. I'm not sure what the full name of this is, because they do also have like pop cream blushes, which I've heard aren't as good as these. So I will link this down below if you're curious. But yeah, this is the shade Joy. It's definitely more of a peachy tone, and what's really interesting about this is it comes with a doe foot applicator, and I like that they've got like the glass packaging. I love the packaging of the whole brand, to be honest, but I love that packaging, and I like that you can see the colour on the inside. Now, when I first apply this, it does look quite scary, and I will say a little goes a very long way with this blush. When I first put it on, I found it quite hard, and I was like, oh my god, what have I done? But just trust the process. So all I really do is just put 2 little blobs on my face, like so. You're gonna be like, that's not a lot, but just wait. And then I go in with a Real Technique stippling brush just to blend this out. Like I said, just trust the process. I love the colour of this. It's a really beautiful colour. I've seen a lot of people rave about the shade Joy. It's not really a colour I'd normally go for. It's quite an apricot-y peachy blush, as you can see. It's got like quite an orangey undertone, but I do really love it. Yeah, it's just a really nice blush. It's got a little bit of a luminosity to it. I don't know if you can see that, like the way it reflects the light. It's just really nice. Let me just see if I can zoom you in a little bit just so you can see closer. And yeah, just kind of blend it out. What I really like about this colour as well is it gives almost like a, I don't want to say sunburn, because sunburn isn't a good thing, but it gives almost like a flush to the skin. And like I said earlier, I've just been loving cream products. Yeah, what's really good about it is it doesn't set down really quickly, so you do have time to work with it and blend it out a little bit. And yeah, as you can see, those 2 little dots do definitely go a long way. So I mean, that's going to last you age. Kind of blend that out with my brush, and yeah, as you can see, it blends out really nicely. I really like that doe foot applicator. It just means you can be quite precise with the application. Blends out really nicely, and yeah, it's got that like luminosity to it. I'm not really a person who wears highlighter, and I feel like this just gives enough luminosity to my face. And then all I'm going to do is go in with my beauty blender, no added product, and I'm just kind of going to go over. And what I really like about this is this kind of just takes like the little bit of foundation and concealer that we had, like it might have soaked up before, and just kind of helps make the bronzer and blush almost look like part of your skin, and turns them down just a little bit, but gives that really nice finish. And yeah, I just love that blush. I think it's so beautiful. I feel like blusher's kind of had a resurgence in the past couple of years. I feel like people used to shy away from blusher. I've always been a blusher lover, so I love that blusher is like on trend at the moment because I just think it's really beautiful. It just adds such a nice flush to the skin, and especially like for someone like me that has quite a red undertone to my skin, I just really like the look of blusher. And yeah, I just really like that. I feel like blusher just gives your face such a healthy look, and I really love this shade in particular. I've not tried any of the other shades. I've not tried anything else from Rare Beauty. I would be really intrigued to try more from the brand, so if you have tried anything from Rare Beauty that you would recommend, do let me know in the comments below, because I just love this blush and I would actually really like to try some other shades. I'd like actually to get like a more pinky mauvey shade, but yeah, loving that. Again, I think that would also look really beautiful in the summer, but I have been wearing it in winter because it looks really nice. And then I am just going to go with powder. I'm not going to talk about this too much because this is nothing new. I have actually gone back to a loose powder. I have been using a pressed powder for ages and I've now been trying a loose powder. This is just the Too Faced Born This Way powder in translucent. This is just the one that I had in my collection, so I'm just using this one. I do actually prefer the Laura Mercier translucent powder, so I'll just speed this bit up. I have just going in with the damp sponge. This is a different sponge to my beauty blender. Just because I feel like when you use powder on a beauty blender, it just kind of ruins it a little bit. And just kind of going in. I don't really bake, I just press that way. But I just feel like this helps my makeup last a bit longer. Just mainly in the T-zone area. And then I am just going to go in with powder bronzer. I'm not going to talk you through this because this isn't anything new. I do also really love the Benefit Hoola bronzer. That's kind of the other powder bronzer I use, but I love this powder, but you can't buy it anymore, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. Just kind of using this to set that cream bronzer. Okay, and then I do just want to talk to you about a brow product. I'm just going to quickly brush through. My next favourite is a brow gel. This is the Glossier Boy Brow. This is in the shade Brunette Brown. I love a tinted brow gel. I really like using them first to go in with my brows and just help tint the brows that I do have. I just feel like this really helps like make them stand out and know what I'm working with before I go filling them in with a pencil later on. This I'd heard people rave about for years. What I love about this is the brush is tiny. Yeah, and because the brush is so small, it just makes it really easy to work it in with your brows. I feel like I do really like the NYX brow mascara, but the brow one for that is quite big. I feel like I can end up with product on my skin, and because I don't do my brows first, that can be quite annoying. So I just really like the brush, and it just means that you can really get in to the brows, you can really get in there with the hairs, which I really like. And then can you see like just instantly how that's like just made my brows a little bit more prominent. If I'm not doing like a full face, I will just sometimes go in with just this just to kind of tint my brows. Even if sometimes I'm not wearing any makeup, I'll just do my skincare routine, go in with this and curl my lashes, and I feel already a little bit more put together. I just really like it, and it's not like too wet either. It doesn't feel like wet on your face. Yeah, I think they've got like 5 different shades. I feel like there's a clear one, a blonde one for like auburn hairs, and a black one, and then obviously this brown one. So yeah, really like that. So just gonna go in with a powder blusher. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Cheek to Chic blusher in Walk of No Shame. It just looks like this. So when I went to get shade match to the foundation, she took off all my makeup, did my whole face, and then like used other products on me. And this blusher she used, and I absolutely loved it. It looks quite dark in the pan, so you have like the blusher and then you have like the little shade in the middle, which is like the pop colour. So you just kind of go in, get the blusher. Yeah, so when she used this on me, I was a little bit hesitant because I was like, that looks quite dark for my skin, but it just looks really beautiful. Like I said earlier, I really do like a blushed look, so I do like that this just looks a little bit more prominent on my skin. Works really nicely. It's a really nice powder product. It is a really nice shade. I think they have quite a few different shades of this. Yeah, it's quite a blushy look, which is not for everybody, but I really like it. Okay, and then moving on to eyes, the eye palette that I've been loving is the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl palette. Now, I'm not a massive eyeshadow person. I'm not massively adventurous with my eyeshadow, but I absolutely love this palette. It just looks like this. What I really like about this is it's just like made for everything that I like. So it's got like all the neutrals, like it's got your matte browns in there, it's got shimmers, and then it's got a few like pinky purpley shades in there. It just works really nicely. Like all the shades in this I use a lot. I mean, maybe not this bright purple, maybe like some of the shimmers I use less, but they're all really beautiful. The eyeshadows blend really nicely, And yeah, this is just like colour story for me. It's just like perfect. Got like the dark brown, it's got like warmer tone brown, so you can quite easily do like a nice day look with this, but then you can also do a more fancy eye. I've done like more pink toned eyes. I did that around Valentine's Day and I really like that look. And then they've just got like some everyday easy quick and go eyeshadow looks, and then obviously they've also got the shimmers in there, so I just think it's a really fun palette, but it's still like really usable. Sometimes I feel like some palettes come out and they're so bright and then they've got no neutrals in them, like I'm just not drawn towards them because I'm just like, how often am I actually going to use you? Whereas this is the sort of palette that I feel like I will actually use. I feel like I've had so many palettes in the past that just sit in a drawer, never to be used, and then I have to get rid of them because they're so old. So this palette I actually feel like I will use, like if I'm going away, like on holiday or for a weekend away. It's just got everything I would need in there. I just really like it. It's also got this mirror, so that's really handy if you're going away. So yeah, I'm just going to use this palette today. I'm not a makeup artist. This is not going to be like the best eye look you've ever seen in your life, but I thought I'd just show you kind of what I've been doing. So I'm going to go in with the shade Muffin Top, which is just this warm brown down here, and just kind of take this all over the eye. Yeah, they just blend really nicely, and they've got like good colour payoff as well, because I'm not like amazing at makeup and I'm not the most adventurous with eye looks. Like I want something that's just going to be easy to use, that I'm not going to have to sit there for hours blending and like packing on the colour. This is just a really easy palette to use for like your everyday like person like myself. And just see how like easy that's blended out. And then we'll go in with Cinnamon Swirl. This is Cinnamon Swirl here, like the warmer, slightly darker than Muffin Top. It's almost like a ready tone to it. Just add that in the outer half. And even though I'm doing quite a basic eye look with this, I feel like all the colours would work really nicely together. Like, so if you want to incorporate the pinks like do work really nice with the neutrals. That's really good. Like, it's quite a cohesive palette, which I really like, because then that obviously gives you options, which, you know, is what you want with a makeup palette. Like viable, wearable options. Like, you want to get your use out of a makeup palette. Okay, and then I am going to be a little adventurous, and I think I'm going to go in with I'm Toasted, which is like this warmy bronzy shimmer. The shimmers, I would say, like most shimmers, go on best with fingers. I think they just work best with finger. Oh my life. That's very zoomed in. I also don't have the best eyes for eye makeup because they're quite like, I've got like not a lot of lid space. Like that shimmer just went on really nicely and it just like catches the light. I do powder my eyelids before I go in with eyeshadow, but I don't like going with a full-on proper base. I mean, I think they would obviously work wonderfully with a base, but if you don't want to have that faff and you just want something quite easy, then. And then I'm just going to go in with Batter Up, which is the dark brown, and an angled brush as like kind of like a liner. I love that it's got a dark matte brown in here, because this is kind of what I use this for, just to help thicken up the lash line. It's not going to be a wing or anything. I don't really like wing liner on me. And then I'm just going to take the same shades we used and take them a little bit under the eye. Like I said, nothing too fancy, just a warm bronzy eye. Okay, we are back. I have just done my lashes off camera. I just used my Maybelline Sky High mascara, and then I did apply some false lashes. These are just the Ardell Demi Wispies. I do cut them down because they are a bit long for my eyes, and I just used the Duo glue for that. And then I just did go in with my brow pencil, which is just the Precisely My Brow Pencil from Benefit, and then just the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel. But yes, we are back. We have swapped the cup of tea for a glass of vino. So I've just remembered I actually did want to do eye pencil in my waterline. This is just the Rimmel pencil in a dark brown. Just to help blend. Lips, I'm just going to go in with my Pillow Talk Charlotte Tilbury lip pencil, and then the lipstick, I'm actually going to go in with my Maybelline Tantalising Taupe. I think we're pretty much done. I am just going to go in with my setting spray. This is just the e.l.f. setting spray. And I'm just going to pat that in with the bum end of the sponge I use for powder. And that is the makeup done. So I thought I'd just zoom you in just so you can see the skin. So yeah, you can obviously see that I've still got texture on my skin, but I just find that all those products work really nicely together. I love the base. My skin just looks really, really nice and dewy, but not too shiny. But yeah, that is pretty much the makeup done. I'm just gonna go off camera and do my hair ready for later, and then I'll come back and round off this video. Okay, so I've just curled my hair just using the Mark Hill Pick and Mix wand in the shade medium. I'll link that down below as well. But yeah, that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed me talking you through my current beauty favourites and just kind of showing them on my face. I thought it'd be more useful for me to film and get ready with me and show you the products in use rather than just talking you through them and why I love them, to actually see them on my face. I thought it would be really, really helpful. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, please do give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below, and I will see you all very soon in a brand new video. Goodbye.